A couple years ago, I was at a Halloween party with some friends. We were all like, hey, why not watch a scary movie? My friend who was hosting picked a special little movie called Ouija from 2014. Spoiler alert, it's really, really bad. This isn't some low-budget indie film either. This isn't a director's eccentric passion project. This was backed by Universal Studios and made by Blumhouse, two big names in the industry. To really show you how bad it is, I gotta start from the very beginning. I'm just gonna give my rating first. This is the worst mainstream horror movie that I have ever seen. The movie starts with two young girls. Debbie is teaching her friend Lane how to play with a Ouija board.
You can never, ever play alone, and you always have to say goodbye.
After they start, we get tricked into thinking this scary movie will actually be scary.
What are you guys doing?
Fast forward years later to where these two are now in high school. Debbie has been playing with the board and not taking her own advice. She tries to get rid of it, but after Lane leaves her house, strange things start happening. It was at this point my friend jumped and screamed when the stove turned on. I'm not even kidding. That alone was better than anything in the actual movie. Debbie looks through the planchette and gets possessed and hangs herself with Christmas lights. The next day, all of Debbie's friends are seen. This is where we get into another glaring problem. The characters are boring. I say that because there are scenes where the characters just stand around and talk, and to me they just drag on. Lane gets a text from her dad telling her to come home immediately. She gets home and learns the truth about Debbie.
Lane, sit down. We need to talk.
I don't want to sit down. Just tell me what's going on.
Lane, sit down.
I don't want to sit down. Someone tell me what's going on.
It's about Debbie.
If you know something is wrong, why are you being so vague about it? Debbie's wake happens the next day, and everyone is grieving. Also, Lane's sister Sarah is sneaking out. Then we get another couple minutes of characters standing around and talking. Lane and her boyfriend go to Debbie's house, and then she finds the Ouija board. Guess what happens?
Hey!
Oh my god.
That's right, another fake scare. The characters talk some more, and they all miss Debbie. They eventually decide that they should use the Ouija board to reach out to Debbie's spirit. They all go to her house, and you'll never guess what happens.
Oh my god. Jeez, Pete.
This movie has a problem with fake jump scares. This is literally a horror movie pretending to be scary. Debbie's boyfriend is just standing around in her dark house. They don't explain why he's there. It just cuts to the next scene. Whatever. Anyways, they start playing the game. At first it seems like they're talking to Debbie. The message says, "Hi friend." Then the lights turn off. They start walking around. This guy gets his face smashed into a mirror, and then they all leave. Lane's grandma tells her not to use the board again, and she listens. That's it, movie's over. Nah, just kidding. The adult characters in this movie are useless. No one listens to them. We get scenes where the characters each encounter the spooky message, "Hi friend." Pretty sure this guy was in the ghost hobo's begging corner. Then we get a scene with this girl seeing the message. I guess you could say that's the first real jump scare of the movie. This movie is an hour and a half long, and this happens at 41 minutes in. We get a scene where Lane and Sarah hide because of spooky stuff happening in their house. When they look, they see something really scary. Improper formatting. Someone's gonna fail writing Comp 101. The next day they all gather and talk about the message they saw. Also, I love how all the characters got scary shit happening to them, and then this guy just sees the message scrawled on his desk. Like they couldn't think of another scary thing to happen to him. So they go back to playing with the board and they discover the truth, that they were never talking to Debbie but instead someone named DZ. Lane looks through the planchette and she sees a ghost. This is a movie about ghosts, and we see our first one at 48 minutes into an hour and a half long movie. The ghost warns them to run as Mother is arriving. Then Lane sees the ghost of Mother through the planchette. They all get freaked out and leave. They decide to walk away from the board. The next day we get a scene of all the characters at school, and man, it is boring. No one talks to each other, they just kind of walk around and look at one another with sad or concerned faces. What was the point of this scene? Anyways, Lane is at home and she watches Debbie's vlogs from her YouTube channel. She and Sarah learn that Debbie played the game alone. Also, this girl gets killed. Out of all the death scenes in the movie, this one is probably the most well done. She does turn into a $10 Halloween mask, but still, this death is painful for me to look at. Then the next day, a school official is trying to help Lane by offering resources for grief counseling after her other friend's death. She says they can't help, and she tries to get the two guys to help her look for clues. Lane's boyfriend doesn't want to, because he rightfully thinks she's an idiot. Only Debbie's boyfriend, Pete, does. She and him find old photos in Debbie's attic, and they discover that DZ is the spirit of Doris Zander, a girl who went missing. They find out that Doris's sister is locked up in a mental hospital for murdering their mother, and she goes to visit her. Lane learns that Doris's mother was a medium who killed Doris after going insane from her work. She also stitched Doris's mouth shut to stop the ghost from talking through Doris. She tells Lane to go down to a secret room and cut the stitches from Doris's mouth. So yeah, apparently Debbie's family has a damn dead body in their house. Also, 2 murders happened there. I can only imagine how that conversation went with their realtor. Anyway, they look for a secret room, and this guy gets attacked by a shadow. It's so stupid and unintentionally funny. This scene reminds me of that really old video where that kid gets attacked by a ghost. Lane finds Doris and cuts the stitches from her mouth, which makes the mother ghost disappear. And then all seems well until Pete sees what looks like Debbie and then turns into a spooky boy. Trevor finds out and then tells Lane, who confronts Doris's sister.
Your mother didn't try to hurt us. She tried to stop us.
Dun dun dun. Plot twist. The sister was the evil one. Also, I love Lin Shaye in this movie. She takes her role and just runs with it. Anyway, Lane, Sarah, and Trevor decide to go to Debbie's house and destroy the spiritual connection once and for all. They find Pete, who gets snapped by Thanos. Trevor gets thrown into the pool by Doris and presumably dies. They try and get the board, but Sarah gets dragged to another part of the basement. Doris is about to stitch Sarah's mouth, but Lane forces her to play the game. It seems like Lane is losing when suddenly this brilliant scene happens. I'm not even kidding. This is the dumbest scene in the whole damn movie.
Whoa, I thought you were dead.
My death was greatly exaggerated.
They end up destroying the spirit's body and board, and then the 2 sisters go home. The movie ends with them talking, and then Lane picks up the planchette and looks through it. And then the movie just stops. That's it. No last minute jump scares, we don't see her with a terrified expression or anything. That's how the movie ends, with her and us looking at nothing. So yeah, that was my review on Ouija. I hope I did a good job explaining why I thought it was a bad movie. If you like hearing about why some scary movies are bad, or learning about their histories, subscribe so you can get this kind of interesting and cool knowledge brought right to you. One thing I also want to know down in the comments, what's your favorite scary movie? See y'all later.